Go back to live pictures right now. This is Carolina Forest in South Carolina, right near Myrtle Beach. You can see a smoky haze there as the sun comes up. Several factors contributing to these wildfires, chief among them being strong winds and drought.
Yeah, let's bring in meteorologist Chris Mulcahy now because we've seen a lot of these drought conditions, but Chris, it's a little bit different this go round.
Main reason why the time of year, and you guys asked this question last time, and a great question, is this typical for this time of year? Well, if there's drought meshed with, especially for March and April, this is our windy season, so you're more likely to have those gusty winds, just like over in California, they have the Santa Ana winds. It's at this time we have a lot of temperature fluctuations, a lot of fronts that roll through. That leads to severe weather, but can also lead to really a gusty environment. But let's bring this full. This is from NC State. They have a great website that shows per county across the Carolinas who's under what as far as a fire danger goes. So a very high is one that you have to be alert. An extreme, that's don't burn at all if you can. And it's not just burning. You have to be really mindful of things like, say, if you have a trailer and the chain is dragging behind you, that creates a spark. And that spark can lead to a wider spread fire. So always kind of keep that in mind as far as that a possibility. So a lot of reds are going to be on the map over the next couple of days because drought status, we're either abnormally dry, that's that shading of yellow, or that shading of beige. In South Carolina, 82% of the state under that status, but we actually have 4% of North Carolina. It's actually under a severe drought, and if we don't get really a widespread rain, it's only going to get worse. So we do have a couple of rain chances over the next 7 days, but we really need a whole lot more of it. The gusty winds at 15 to 20 miles per hour, not really an issue today. That'll be a little bit later on, but relative humidity below 25%, we're really seeing that peak during the afternoon, and then very dry conditions. And our fire danger, according to SPC, that's the Storm Prediction Center, is showing an elevated risk really for the North Carolina mountains, heading over to Tennessee, parts of Kentucky, and also over into Virginia as well. And the same thing for tomorrow. But going forward, Wednesday, it is going to be a very windy event associated with this. Now, the good news is we are going to see some rain. That mean line of thunderstorms that Larry is going to talk about, that's going to give us up to an inch of rain. That is going to be fantastic. It's really favorable. But once that rolls through, even though what might be breezy, that'll be enough to really soak the top layer. So our fire danger is going to go down. Still at a high level, but at least back to that yellow cover. We usually are going to be around that range in general for this time of year. So some safety tips: cut down those trees and try to remove any of those branches around your house. Make sure they're not going to be touching the ground. Don't store firewood underneath your house and your deck. I've heard multiple stories that just really aided the fire and kind of led things to it. And also make sure to clear lawnmowers, other farm and home equipment of any debris, because sometimes the buildup of the heat could be the culprit for a fire sparking. And I mentioned that before, metal objects behind a car can, one simple spark can cause really a bunch of chaos, as we've seen down in South Carolina.
You mentioned this briefly earlier, but the rain we're supposed to get on Wednesday, is that going to help dissipate a lot of this as far as our drought, or is that just not going to be enough?
It's going to buy us time.
Okay.
We need multiple events like that, but then it's weird. You almost don't want it all at once, where if you had 2 inches of rain in one day, that's not going to do justice. If you did 2 inches of rain, say, steadily over a week, that's much better than all at once, because a lot of runoff doesn't really absorb into the topsoil.
Got it. All right, Chris, thanks.